My name is Jennifer Carole Lewis, and I have a full-time job. I'm a full-time mom, and I write. So I am very interested in anyone who has practical suggestions for time travel or cloning. This is my passion, this is my love. And if I can share it with other people, then I feel that that's worth taking a risk on. I write because I've always told myself stories. I started off, I would tell stories that would be qualified as fan fiction. So when I was 12, I was the hit of the playground because I had a My Little Pony Zorro crossover, where they went on grand adventures together. That's never seen the light of day, by the way. But I was writing in that field, so, I'd write stories featuring my friends. We'd have all these fantastic adventures and be fabulous, exciting people. And gradually, after a while, I was like, I'd like to try doing this professionally. And there was a part of me that, was like, well, people like you don't become real writers. Everyone knows real writers are actually grown in a vat somewhere from clippings from Jane Austen and Shakespeare. And, but that I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. And so I wrote my first manuscript, which was had a lot of newbie mistakes in it, and I joined the writers group and I started learning how much I still had to learn. But it's always been a dream of mine that someday, I will meet people who are like, I read your book and I loved it. That your stories made me think about things. Or, that you walk into a store and see your name on that shelf next to everybody else. And, also too frankly, it's something I would do anyway. I write paranormal romance and urban fantasy, and it's about a secret society of superheroes living among us. So it's people with all sorts of strange and fantastical powers, but having to keep them secret because the general world doesn't know that they exist yet. Romance has definitely changed over the years. As we like to say, it's not your grandmother's Harlequin anymore. So they mentioned in the panel yesterday that romance used to be defined as a story which focuses on the love connection between a man and a woman. And now, because we want to be inclusive, it says focuses on the romance between two people or more in the case of some, erotic fiction. I honestly think that romance readers are some of the most discerning readers out there because there's so much choice for them, so many authors who are in it. They expect a very high level of writing for what they're getting. They expect good stories, but they also expect to have that happy ending and always that message that there's hope. Doesn't matter how dark the situation is. Romance always promises that your happy ending is only a few pages away. My advice for new writers and for writers wanting to make that jump between being a writer and being an author, which is where you get paid for it, would be to join a writing group. Find a writing group in your genre and talk to people, because networking is such a huge part of this industry. I would say there's a bunch of different things that conferences like Limestone can do for authors, readers, and aspiring authors. So for authors, it's a chance to meet your audience. And also, too frankly, writing tends to be a pretty solitary profession. You spend a lot of time just sitting at your keyboard, and all that self-doubt can come up, and you're like, I say it's the roller coaster where you're like, oh my God, I'm brilliant. Oh my God, I'm a fraud. And you're rarely in the middle somewhere. But being here and actually connecting with readers gives that huge confidence, because it reminds you that you get into, every author I know got into this because they wanted to tell stories. They wanted to have their stories connect with people. And this gives us the opportunity to see that connection. And that makes a huge difference and keeps us going.